What would it look like if you wrapped a car with the same color after 2 years? We're gonna find out today. So we wrapped this car 2.5 years ago, and this is a Model 3. I believe it's a 20, I forget what is it, 23 maybe? I'm not sure, but over 2 years ago, and it's held up really well. And we wrapped this in 3M Satin Gold Dust Black. This color is special to us. We've wrapped a lot of cars in this color. We've actually wrapped one of the first Cybertrucks in this color in Austin, Texas. And this is one of those. We've done a lot of Model 3s in this particular color. And you can see it's a little bit of a gold feel to it. And if you look out in the sun, it really shines, but it's got this metallic flake all over it. So, unfortunately, this customer hit a deer. So this whole side right here from the fender, bumper, and the 2 doors are messed up. So what we've already done is we've already decon, we've done all the cleaning, all that stuff. There's a couple areas that I already see right now that we need to do. I've wiped it down, but we're gonna go ahead and install this. So one of the things that's beneficial about us being kind of like a Tesla shop, we do a lot of Teslas, is we end up using a lot of the stuff that we sell in our store here, meaning we have our kit, which means it saves us a lot of time. We could, of course, trim it and all that, but all of that just kind of adds time, it compounds, so we actually want to avoid all of that. So the first step we're going to do is we're going to walk you through. This isn't really a how-to video, but I wanted to walk you guys through how this actually works, and if a kit is even possible through all this stuff. So right now I'm just kind of looking at where the outline is. So it's like right there, it's right here, right? I'm just kind of feeling out where the outline is. And then the next thing I'm actually going to look at is this curvature. It goes all the way here. I'm also going to look at right here, and then all the way through. This looks really good as well. This looks really good as well. And then in my FIFA Tesla jersey, I actually have this tape, and I'm just gonna go ahead and just line this up just like that. All right, what you're gonna do is you're gonna just hold this in place just like this. You see that? And then you're gonna peel back like so. And then we have this special cutout that we did. All right, so I basically just kind of anchored it down. You see how flat all this stuff is? And then you can start squeegeeing. And then we're gonna start squeegeeing this section. And I'm just providing some tension. So basically what we want to do is kind of keep going. Honestly, at this point, I can just do the whole thing. I'm pretty comfortable. I've done a lot of these in my lifetime. So we're just going to go ahead and just start squeegeeing this line first. And that's actually what you want to do first. Okay, and then what I like to do is I just kind of start in the middle like this. And then I just kind of go out. But the reason why we do this is we don't want it to be overwhelming for people who are starting. Because think about it, like if you have a much larger area to do, it'll just feel really overwhelming. Whereas if you just do it in sections like this, what I'm doing, it's manageable, right? It's really not that bad. And then basically center out, you can see kind of feeding it into that area. Get this side. Don't bridge it too much. There's already relief cuts right here. So it goes right to the edge. As long as you just follow this instruction, it's pretty awesome. Okay. And then what we can do right here, just kind of release this a little bit. There's a little bit of this. We're gonna go ahead and post heat all this. I'm gonna start with all these edges right here. And honestly, before you do all the edges, you should post heat the front edge right here, all the front end right here. Let's go ahead and do that. Amazing. A couple areas, mostly the edges. We'll go ahead and just slowly, look at that, so clean. Okay. And then what you're kind of doing is you're sealing this. You just follow this line aggressively, just like that. Look at that. And then as you get kind of closer, I like tearing that off, and then look how it just kind of lines up right there. So you just kind of but look, it just goes just like this. The other thing is you don't want to bridge. What I mean by that is you don't want to put all this tension right here, right? But if you do it like this area, guys, is not gonna fail, basically ever. So you can see, super strong bonding. And what I've done also is protect the actual piece from lifting, meaning this piece, the big piece. And it goes all the way around, as you see. Well, I can't open the door because I have this. This is called a transfer paper. And what it is basically, well, that's exactly what it is, transfer paper. But you do that. And then what I'm gonna do is, look at that. All right, so first off, if you notice, I got my wrap sticks up here in the pillar because it's magnetic. I have a lot more material in the bottom. That is intentional. Why? Well, you see that from the top end. So I already heated it, and I can actually roll that over, kind of slowly. I have to trim a little bit, but that's okay. And just roll this over with my wrap stick. And then once you get here, you can kind of, I don't want to open it fully. I can go ahead and heat that back. And I want to focus on this little corner right here, okay? And then we can do the top. Okay, so you can see all of this is good, super clean. And look at it from the top. Get a close up. You can see all of this is hidden. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and open this up. You'll notice we have a little nub, and you always wanna start with the nub. I go like this. I'm kind of holding this tension right here. And it starts to fold on itself because of all that tension I just added. Look at this, all the way through, no wrinkles. Just like that. Hold this out. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna go all the way out. So notice I'm just using my thumb with the wrap glove because it slides really well. I think sometimes there's a little bit of a negative response to like using templates and stuff. And I think that's kind of like a debate where like rappers sometimes say you gotta use a knife, you gotta bulk everything. But honestly, if you're just doing the same car over again, part of a good business person is to try to improve it, to make your work, one, better, but even more efficient. So this is kind of the result of that, all right? I mean, we do a lot of Teslas. So it just kind of naturally made sense. And then we also wanted we had a lot of people that wanted to do what we did that weren't actually rappers. So I mean, we have both, we do both, right? I mean, we service the pro side, but also towards the other DIY side, where we service a lot of people and helping them do what we do. and this is on Matrix Black. All right, so check this out. Left side was just installed a minute ago. The right side was installed 2.5 years ago. I don't think I could tell a difference between the two, other than we probably should have washed this a little bit better, but other than that, it's almost identical. And this is kind of why we always recommend, especially among our customers, to use really, really top quality brands. This one is specifically 3M, but we also use Avery SW900, 3M is 2080, and these are double cast films, and they have such a high quality assurance process in their manufacturing that a lot of times, if it's not even in their spec of their color, they throw it out and then they don't send it to customers. So this is the reason why they're color stable, it works really well. And I'm not saying that 3M and Avery are the only ones, Avery Denizen are the only ones, but this is kind of why I always kind of push this to our customers, because unfortunately, hitting a deer, getting in an accident, stuff like this happens a lot. And I think that's one of the things that the industry doesn't talk about. What happens when that actually happens, right? How easy is it to get to a shop? And I think that's actually another question that you want to ask your wrap shop. What's the after service look like? You know, if I crashed, what does that look like? Would I be able to come back to you guys? You know, what's the cost? But yeah, this is what it looks like. You know, if you wrap a car 2.5 years later, this is what it looks like. So if you have any questions about that process or what that looks like, or if you have any questions about the process that I just showed you just now, let us know in the comments below. We have a lot more to do. We got to finish the rest of the car. We'll see you later.